Attempts and Truth. The group spent 2 weeks traveling on the path between the Land of Fire and the Land of Waves thanks to the slow pace that the bridge builder set for them. While they traveled, Kakashi lectured the team from time to time on village politics and other things that were important for a ninja to know. During the rest breaks he would train on of them in various weapon, wilderness survival, or fighting skills while the others were positioned in guard duty. Naruto made this job particularly easy as he could be in multiple places at once. All in all, though the mission was one big boring mess that none of the genin were real happy to have and were all counting the days that they would be free from having to guard an old drunkard who seemed to have a large feeling of self-importance. Until then they were stuck in the same old boring routine. So tell me, Sensei, are all missions away from the village this boring? Peter questioned the Jonin during one of their rest breaks. Kakashi sighed as his students turned to look at him. Peter, you need to remember that a boring mission is a good mission because it means that everything is going according to plan. The Jonin reminded his student. If things are going bad, that means that we're having problems that we weren't expecting, and that means trouble. But we shouldn't have to worry about anything like that now, should we, Tazuna? He questioned, turning to look towards the bridge builder curiously. No, I can't imagine anything that might be coming up that would be unexpected. I just need you to stop any highway bandits, the bridge builder said in hasty agreement with the ninja. The Jonin turned his eye on the man for a moment before turning back to his students. You see, as long as we don't have anything unexpected happen, then we should be fine, and this will be like nothing more than a small training mission. The students nodded at the sensei before they began the process of breaking their camp. The group was passing near the border between the two lands when the mission went wrong for them, though. They were passing by a pair of puddles that were on the edges of the border when the attack came. Peter's senses had blared at him for a second that there was danger before settling back down, but there had been nothing around, so he had done his best to ignore the sense of danger that he had felt, figuring it was nothing more than his senses acting crazy like they had the entire trip. Besides, if there was a real threat, he figured Kakashi would have said something or at least given them some kind of signal that there was something wrong, so he ignored the feeling. When a pair of cloaked ninjas launched themselves out of either puddle and swung a giant bladed chain that linked them together around Kakashi and then sliced him into small hunks, he moved. Sakura placed herself in guard 1 position while he noted Naruto had frozen. He caught the arm of one of the ninja and snapped him back with a kick. The ninja went sailing towards a tree, dragging his partner with him with the chain that connected the two. As the two passed one tree, they were all surprised to see the chain tear through a giant tree that looked like it was some 100 years old. Man, I've heard of being joined at the hip but never the arm. You guys really take it to a whole new level, don't you? Peter mocked the pair. You ready to show these guys what happens when you have to go one-on-one with a leaf shinobi, Naruto? His friend barely nodded. But since he was now in between the ninja and the others, they would have to pass him to get at the others. Destroy them, one of the ninja said as they moved forward ready to take on the group of genin. The pair detached the chain from their gloves and swung it in the direction of the bridge builder. Peter and Sakura responded by launching kunai at the incoming chain, knocking it off course and pinning it to tree. The ninja had used the chain as a distraction, though, as they had used the time to rush at the genin. One of the ninja moved in at Naruto while the other swung around to target the bridge builder. Peter made his choice and placed himself between the Sakura, the bridge builder, and the incoming ninja. He raised his arms in a defensive stance, hoping that his bracers would be able to stand up to the incoming claws. He saw the other ninja backhand Naruto and instead of following up the attack was following after his partner. Sakura, when I stop this guy, you take out his partner, he ordered his teammate. The girl readied herself to take on either of the ninja should she need to. Peter waited, and once the claws were nearly at him, he struck with all the speed he could muster. Grabbing the incoming arm around the wrist, he gave a half turn and threw the ninja into a tree. The ninja wobbled a bit in the air as he tried to right himself, but the speed and strength of the genin had surprised him and he sailed face first into a tree. Sakura followed up the attack with several kunai that struck in the shoulders. The ninja grunted and yanked the blade out of his shoulder, letting the blade drop to the ground. He lunged again. "This is going to hurt," Peter noted as he braced himself for the incoming missile. He doubted his enhanced speed and strength would help him this time. "Sakura, I'll try and grab him. You take him out though." The pair were startled as an arm appeared out of nowhere and clotheslined the ninja. The pair looked up in shock as they saw Kakashi holding a ninja in either arm. "Hi," the ninja greeted them casually. "Took you long enough, boss man," Peter informed the Jonin as he finally lowered his arms. "Yes, sorry about that. I was curious to see how you would all handle yourselves," Kakashi apologized. "Naruto, I didn't think that you would freeze up like that. Peter, Sakura, you both did a good job." Naruto flushed in embarrassment at his teammates having outperformed him. Peter nodded his head at their teacher angrily. He could understand why Naruto had frozen like that. In a way it was like some of the attacks that Naruto had suffered while in the village, and he got in more trouble for fighting with his attackers than he did if he just took the beating. It was going to take time for his friend to accept that he could fight back. "Don't worry Naruto, you'll get them next time," he assured his friend. Naruto grinned at that and began making swiping movements. "Yeah, don't worry about me. Next time I'll show them." "Believe it." "Naruto, be still," Kakashi commanded. "These ninja have poison-tipped weapons." Kakashi tied the enemy ninja up and began interrogating them and the bridge builder. "All right, now, tell me what it is that is going on here," Kakashi demanded of the man. "This mission is far beyond the skill set of what you told us. These are the demon brothers of the hidden mist village. They are missing ninja and part of a radical group that was exiled from the village a few years ago. They are known for their use in relentless attacks and poison-tipped weapons. Now who is it that you have us working against that hates you enough to send killers of this level after you?" "Well, how do you know that they were after me? Maybe they were after someone else." Tazuna tried to bluster back at the Jonin. "I thought that might be the case, which is why I watched. They were more interested in taking you out than they were in taking any of the rest of my team out. Now what is going on?" "Well, you see," the bridge builder stuttered. "Oh please," Peter said as he suddenly grabbed the old man in one hand and leapt into a tree several feet off the ground. "Here's how it works. You tell us or I drop you on the ground, old man." "You wouldn't dare, you're just a kid," Tazuna stuttered out as he eyed the ground below them. "And your lies got my friend poisoned," Peter returned to him. The old man remained silent as he fearfully looked at the ground. "Fine, have a nice trip," Peter said as he released him and let him fall. The man screamed only to stop as he was jerked back up at the last second as Kakashi saved him and set him down on the ground. "Do you feel like answering now, or do I let my student here see how far a fall a human body can endure?" Kakashi questioned. "Fine, I'll tell you, but keep your little assassin away from me," Tazuna said as he eyed the figure on a tree branch with fear. "I'll do my best as long as you remain honest with me," Kakashi returned to the old man with a smirk. "If not, well, you better hope he doesn't realize you weren't being honest with us." "Fine, I'll tell you everything," Tazuna agreed. "You have heard of the man that wishes me dead. He is the shipping mogul Gato." "Gato?" Sakura questioned dubiously. "As in the owner of Gato Transport? He has shipping business all over the world. Why would he care about your little town?" "Gato may be a well-respected businessman, but he is also a cold-hearted man that deals business in all of the illegal methods as well, drugs, smuggling, you name it. Gato has a hand in it somewhere in the world. He has controlling interest in most of the gangs and rogue ninja groups as well," Tazuna explained to Team 7. Peter nodded. This story sounded so similar to him. The image of a large man in the white suit came to mind, and behind him were an assortment of figures. One was large with a gray body while another was dressed in an odd yellow substance. He ignored the images and focused on what the bridge builder was saying at the moment though. Tazuna continued his explanation despite the interruptions. A year ago Gato began taking over the Land of Waves. With his fortune he quickly took control of our government and transportation. The only hope we have of stopping him now is to complete the bridge. As long as the Land of Waves is separated from the rest of the world he will be able to do as he likes, but if we can manage to build the bridge then we will be able to break his control over our land. He has tried many things to stop us, like having laws that would slow production, or shipments would be lost, pirates would strike our goods. Anyone that did try and get in his way would disappear, or would be made an example of. I see, Kakashi said. So why did you lie to us about the mission? It sounds as if a team of Jonin or Chunin would have been preferable than what we sent. Had we known that we would have staffed for an A or B rank mission and charged you for such. Because no one has the money to pay for that type of mission besides Gato. Even our nobles are struggling just to keep food on the tables right now. The bridge builder explained. Kakashi nodded in acceptance of that. Very well. We will continue the mission for now, but I need to send a message back to the village to have a team on standby to either support us or avenge us if we are not heard from in a few days' time. Kakashi said as he made several hand signs. Summoning jutsu. He cried out and a dog appeared in a cloud of smoke. Here, take this to the Hokage. He said to the dog, passing it a note. The animal nodded before rushing off. All right then Naruto, let's look at that injury. The boy placed his hand in his sensei's hands. It doesn't look as bad as I thought, Kakashi said as he quickly wrapped the wound. Does his enhanced healing have something to do with that? Peter questioned curiously. Enhanced healing? Sakura questioned curiously. Yeah, Naruto and I both heal at increased rates, Peter said with a shrug. I heal at about 4 times the normal rate of a regular ninja, whereas Naruto here heals at 10 times the rate of your average shinobi. Makes us great for first-line assault or long-term missions. So Naruto can do the shadow clone jutsu, and he can heal? Sakura questioned in disbelief over what someone at the bottom of the class could do. Sure, Hikiba and a few others had all competed against each other for bottom of the class, but everyone knew that it was only because of Peter's constant tutoring that he had managed to be where he was. Yes Sakura, it is a nice little side effect of Naruto being who he is, Kakashi said as he rose to his feet. However, that little bit of information is classified unless Naruto wants to explain it. Peter, any other abilities that Naruto has need to be kept quiet. He told the genin sternly. Sorry sensei, but you're the one who is always saying that we need to know each other better and all that. Peter said. Thought you would have said something anyways. Very well, but next time let Naruto be the one to tell of his secrets and abilities. Kakashi conceded to the other boy. So what about them sensei, we can't very well leave them here can we? Naruto said, eyeing the brothers. No, you're right, we can't leave them here, Kakashi noted to his genin. They're likely to either escape or be set free by any of their companions. He drew one of the metal gloves out before he scratched each of the brothers with a tip. Sensei, what are you doing? Sakura asked, shocked at what a man had just done to their prisoners. Making sure that they stay out of the way. Kakashi returned to her calmly. I didn't scratch them deeply enough for the poison to be deadly, just enough to make them extremely sick and keep the pair of them down for a couple of weeks. As long as they get proper medical attention, that is. He said, staring at the two ninja knowingly. I would recommend find a decent healer and getting your wounds looked after. He added while glaring at the pair. Come along, we need to get going now. The genin and Tazuna nodded as they headed down the trail. Kakashi turned to look back at the brothers one last time. Take this as a warning as to what happens to those that try and kill my precious people. The Jonin said before walking after the group, having a pair of terrified ninja. The group quickly passed over the river that surrounded the village and smuggled into a town via a boat traveling through a secret tunnel. Thanking the boatman, the group moved onward, doing their best to stay on the alert for any more attacks. Okay guys, We're now in the land of waves, Kakashi informed his students as they were standing on the edges of the town. Do one final equipment check now. Because once we enter the forest it is likely that we will be attacked, but it will be up to them on the how and the when. They'll need to try at least one more time before we get Tazuna back to his home and the bridge. The trio nodded as they checked their weapons over and tightened their sandals and pouches. Sakura, I think that you might want to consider either putting your hair up, or at least putting it in a braid, leaving it hanging like that. It is likely to get in your way. Kakashi warned the girl. It'll be fine, sensei, Sakura assured him as she flipped her long pink hair behind her. Yeah, besides I hardly think that you're one to talk on having long hair. Naruto joked nervously. Kakashi ignored the jokester and focused on his other student. Very well, Sakura, I'll leave it be for now, but if it gets in the way I will take actions. He warned her. Sensei, there's something I've been wondering about, Peter said as he looked at their Jonin. You want to know why it is that your spider sense didn't register the Demon Mist brothers? Kakashi said knowingly. Yeah, I mean during the fight I could sense when the attacks were coming, but I should have sensed them before that. Peter said irritably. What good is the ability to sense an incoming attack if I miss it completely like I did with that genjutsu? Kakashi regarded his student for a moment before he began speaking. Peter the First have studied you and your abilities for a while now and believe that the reason is that unless the threat is to you, you won't sense it. Their targets in order were myself, Tazuna, and then yourselves. You were barely even a consideration to them until after you got in their way. So unless it's a threat to me personally, I won't be able to sense it? Peter said in a discouraged voice. As far as we know you can't, the Jonin agreed. It could be that after time and training that you will be able to increase the area you can sense, or it could be that it will always be at the point where you can almost predict an attack before it happens. It also means that you should not blindly depend on your ability during a mission. You may have this danger or spider sense of yours, but it is only good to a certain extent. You have many other senses to detect danger with as well. Your ears can hear the breaking of a twig, your nose can smell smoke or mildew, your eyes can see, and your body can feel. Combine these skills along with your spider sense and you could truly become a dangerous and powerful ninja. All of you could. He added, noticing that his other students were now listening to their conversation. More battles have been won by taking advantage of the environment than anything else. He advised the group. The genin all nodded their heads in acceptance of the teaching that Kakashi was giving them. Do we need to revert to call signs for this one, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto questioned eagerly. Kakashi paused at that. No, that won't be required as of the moment. They probably already know we're here or the area and know our basic numbers. Hiding our names for this won't matter, I'm afraid. The group nodded their acceptance of their leader's group began moving forward, each nervous and expectant as to what could be happening next in this mission that had obviously gone from the Class C that it was to something much higher. Naruto was currently in front at point, Peter and Sakura were on either side of Tazuna guard the flanks and Kakashi was the rear guard where he could watch over all of them. He allowed Naruto to get ahead of the group as it was likely that he could take a hit before anything else happened and he might put any attacker at ease. Peter tensed as they came to an isolated area near a small lake. Sensei. Yes, Peter. Kakashi retuned. We're being watched, Peter said as he readied himself for when their opponent came out of hiding. Good work, Peter. Can you detect the direction? Kakashi questioned as he allowed his eye to roam the forest. They were interrupted as Naruto threw his kunai. The brush rustled and a snow-white rabbit bounded out of the green brush. Whoops, looks like I missed, Naruto said with a chuckle. Wait, since when do snow bunnies play in the forest? Sakura questioned as she used her encyclopedia-like knowledge. Shouldn't it be brown, sensei? Good eye, Sakura. Now if everyone would duck, Kakashi said as he tackled the old man and Sakura to the ground. Naruto also fell to the ground and Peter leapt into the air as a large blade whistled near silently where their heads had been moments before. The giant blade slammed into a tree trunk and a figure flickered on top of the long hilt. The figure was lean and well-muscled. He was bare-chested except for the large sheath that crossed his chest. He wore grey pants and cameo leggings and arm coverings. He had the bottom half of his face wrapped in bandages, spiked hair and a headband set at an angle with a large scratch through the design. "Man, you don't go halfway when you decide to take a little bit off the top, do you?" Peter joked at the figure standing there. "I mean, I know Sensei needs to get a trim, but that was a little bit excessive if you want my opinion." "Peter, be quiet," Kakashi said as he wandered towards the figure standing on the blade. Well, if it isn't Zabuza Momoki, rogue ninja from the village hidden in the mist," he said pleasantly, as he identified they used the moment his sensei was talking to try and launch an attack only for Kakashi to block him. "You're in the way, get back," he commanded coolly. "But why?" an angry Naruto questioned. "He's not like those other ninja," Kakashi warned the impulsive blonde. "He's in a whole other league. If he's our opponent, then I'll need this," the man said as he withdrew his hand and raised it to his headband and held his hand near the metal plate. The trio looked on in curious surprise, wondering what the man had planned. Did their sensei indeed have an eye there instead of it being missing like they had all suspected? "Kakashi of the Sharingan Eye, did I get that right?" Zabuza questioned idly. "It's really too bad, but you're going to have to hand over that old man." Kakashi ignored the command. "Team 7, Manji formation now. Let's see if all the time teaching you teamwork has paid off." The team froze though as they saw their sensei lift the headband the rest of the way up and they saw a nasty-looking scar that traveled across his closed eye. A moment later he opened his eye and they saw a red eye with 3 black marks within it. "I'm ready," the man declared. "Well, it looks like I'll be able to see the Sharingan in action," Zabuza noted, as he turned to face Kakashi. "Everybody keeps talking about Sharingan. Will someone please tell me what the heck that is?" A confused Naruto pleaded. "I'm with him on that one," Peter said from his place up in the trees. "It's a rather rare dojutsu, or eye bloodline," Kakashi explained to his students. "With it I can comprehend any taijutsu, ninjutsu, or genjutsu and reflect the attack back at the person using it." "Come on Kakashi, if you're going to tell them, you might as well tell them the whole bit," Zabuza said from his place above the others. "You only scratched the surface of what it can do. You see brats, the Sharingan can analyze an opponent's technique and then copy it to the smallest detail. In the Land of Mist we had a standing order to kill you on sight Kakashi. It read that you were the man that had copied over 1,000 jutsu. Kakashi the copy ninja." "So we have a really famous ninja for a teacher then?" Sakura questioned in surprise as she thought back to some of the things that they had seen their teacher do. "As interesting as this has been though, I am not your teacher," Zabuza spat at the group. "I need to kill that old man. Now." Tazuna froze in fear at hearing this. Peter backflipped and landed in front of the man while Naruto and Sakura ran to either side of him. "One Manji formation as ordered," Peter said as they each drew kunai out and held them ready. Zabuza looked the group over. The genin were in guard formation around the target while Kakashi stood at the ready between him and the target. "So I have to take you out first then, Kakashi?" the ninja questioned as he then drew his giant sword and landed on the water. Once the genin watched in shock as he stood on the water created a large amount of mist that blinded them. "Ninja art, hidden mist jutsu," he cried out as the mist blinded all of them. "Great, now what? We can't even see him like this," Naruto complained. "Remember what Kakashi told us about our senses," Sakura said nervously. "Very good Sakura," Kakashi said as he moved through the mist. "So who is he?" Sakura questioned. "He's Zabuza Momoki, the former leader of the Hidden Mist Assassination Unit and a former member of the legendary Seven Swordsmen of the Hidden Mists, the elite fighting force of Kirigakure. The sword he uses is the infamous Kubakai Ribocho, or as it is also known Sever Sword. He's a master of the silent killing technique, so be on your guards. He could show up anywhere. Kakashi warned the trio. On the plus side, if we fail we only lose our lives. He added with a bit of dark humor. How can you even say something like that? Sakura snapped out at the man. Well, it could be worse, Peter said with a grin. We could lose our dignity or even the money in the bank. Although the council will probably be pissed at you if I die without ever having a kid. True enough. Kakashi said, glad at least one of his students hadn't lost their sense of humor despite what they were facing. The man then disappeared into the mist before the eyes of his students. Whoa, did you see that? Naruto questioned in awe. Quiet, buddy, we need to concentrate, Peter said as he strained his senses to detect the attack that might come for them. Yeah, I don't want to die, Sakura said in agreement. 8 points, Zabuza's voice echoed through the mist. Larynx, spine, lung, liver, jugular, subclavian artery, kidneys, heart. Now, which will be my kill point? You really need to get yourself a new hobby, Sakura yelled out into the mist defiantly. Kakashi suddenly appeared as he sent a blast of chakra that made a hole in the mist around the group to see. The genin all swallowed nervously as they felt something from Kakashi that they weren't used to sensing. It was a dark and murderous feeling that rocked all of them somewhat. Stay steady all of you, Kakashi advised them. I won't let him kill you. Gotcha, a voice called out. And suddenly Zabuza appeared next to Tazuna and began swing his blade in an arc that would take the genin and bridge builder out in a single reacted, bringing his kunai up even as Naruto and Sakura were knocked aside by Kakashi. The force of the blow was enough that it knocked his weapon away though and sent him flying into a nearby tree. Kakashi and Zabuza began playing the clone game with each other as two master assassins tried to outmaneuver each other with a combination of taijutsu and clone jutsus that altered the battlefield from moment to moment. Neither had needed the more powerful techniques as they used mid-level to low-powered methods to fight each other. The techniques were being used by masters of the art though. Man, I wish we could help, Peter said as he eyed the pair as they moved around each other. Well, why not? Naruto said as he readied his weapon. 2 reasons, Sakura said. 1, we would probably only get in the way. Kakashi has taught us to fight as a unit, but he hasn't taught us to fight with him yet. We're not anywhere near his level yet. And the other? Our orders were to guard Tazuna, Peter said as they watched the pair of elite ninja go at each other. Our job is to keep back and let things play out for now. Naruto nodded at what his friend said though by the set of his face you could tell that he didn't like what he was hearing. The group watched as the Zabuza managed to get through Kakashi's defenses and knocked him into the water. A few moments later and Kakashi was trapped within a giant water ball. The water prison jutsu. Water as strong as steel, Zabuza gloated toward his captive. And now to finish off your little wannabe ninja. Water clone jutsu. He called as another copy of Zabuza rose out of the lake. Aren't you privileged, Kakashi? You have a front seat to the deaths of your little wannabe ninja. You're not the first wacko to call me a wannabe, Peter said as he got ready to fight. Please boy, as if you could ever be anything more. When you have been between life and death so many times it no longer phases you, then you may be called a ninja. Actually I think I'll call that stupid, Peter returned at the ninja defiantly. Sometimes an ounce of common sense goes a long way toward beating the bad guy. Zabuza ignored the insult as he continued. When you have earned a place in my bingo book for being so deadly, then you may be called a ninja, but before you manage that, to call children like yourselves ninja is a joke. And yet you're not laughing. Naruto returned to him as he allowed his friend's humor to drift over to him. The mist suddenly came back in and the genin were left blind once again. Pathetic, Zabuza said as he appeared in front of Naruto and kicked him in the head, sending his forehead protector flying. He then appeared next to Sakura. Weak, he growled as he backhanded the girl, sending her one way and her headband another. Wannabe. He finished as he appeared behind Peter, another kick, and the last headband went flying into the air. The 3 headbands landed in a pile where Zabuza stamped on the metal plates and ground them into the mud. "You're not ninja, you're just brats," he mocked the group. Kakashi watched his team be decimated by the more powerful and experienced swordsman. "Get the bridge builder and run," he ordered the group. "This is a fight you cannot win. He won the moment he captured me. He can't get too far from the prison without letting me free, and the clone can only go so far from his real body. If you get away now, he can't follow. Now get going." "Sorry, Sensei, but leaving a teammate behind isn't really something I'm prepared to do," Peter said as he began moving at the clone. He leapt into the air and intended to land a kick in his face, but the clone easily caught him by the ankle and sent him hurling into the reached out and caught a tree branch and began spinning on a branch before releasing his grip and landing near the others. "That could have gone better," the masked teen noted to his companions. "My turn," Naruto said as he charged at the figure, yelling as he drew closer to the clone, laughed at the rushing attack the boy was trying. "Have you actually bothered to teach these fools anything about strategy, Kakashi?" Zabuza asked from where the 2 of them were watching. The clone waited, and as the yelling boy got within range, he drove his fist into the boy's gut. Naruto spat up blood as the hit connected. "You must be a glutton for punishment, boy," the clone said before pushing outward, sending the figure curled around his arm away from him. Naruto went rolling through the dirt to land by his friends. "Naruto, are you alright?" Sakura questioned the blonde. "What were you thinking? Not even Sasuke could beat this guy. What hope did you think you had of charging at him like that?" "I had to do it," a shaking Naruto said, as he pushed himself back to his feet and displayed 3 headbands to the group. "Nice," Peter congratulated as he and Sakura took their headbands from their teammate. "All right, I'm almost impressed," Zabuza admitted to Kakashi. He took a blow like that just to retrieve what he wanted. "If he wasn't such an annoying and useless twerp, otherwise I might even think that he had potential." "He has more potential than you might believe," Kakashi returned to him. "They all do." Naruto finally rose the rest of the way to his feet. "Hey you, the freak with no eyebrows," Naruto said darkly, the humor and excitement now gone from his voice. "Put this in your bingo book. The ninja that will become Hokage of the village hidden in the leaves, he never backs down." The blonde paused to tie his headband back on. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. And his teammates are always right there with him," Peter said as he tied his own headband on. "You said it," Sakura returned, as she secured hers. "All right, we all in?" Peter questioned and got answering nods. "Yeah, let's go wild," Naruto said as he wiped his blood away. "No, that is not your mission. Your mission is to protect the bridge builder," Kakashi said as he realized that his students were going to try and confront the swordsman. "Now stay on mission and get him out of here now." The genin turned to look at the old man. "Your call, old man, do we stay and fight or make a run for it?" Tazuna sighed as he looked from the determined faces of the ninja to the entrapped figure in the water bubble. "I want to live, but I don't want to live at the cost of another's life," the man said. "So go ahead and do what you have to do." "That works for me," Peter said grimly. "Team 7 assemble." "Yeah, believe it," Naruto said with a smirk. "You ready?" "You know it," Peter returned. "Sakura, how about you?" "Give me the signal." The girl returned to her companions. "You really think that you can take me on, me? Do you even know what you little play ninja are getting yourself into?" Zabuza questioned the group. "When I was your age my hands were already soaked with blood, and you think 3 unblooded brats are going to stop me now? You talk about how big and bad you are, but you've yet to do anything more than give a bit of a show," Peter mockingly told the swordsman. "How about you show us what you're really capable of?" "Very well, little brat." The clone rushed forward, intent on slamming the masked figure into the ground. Peter easily cartwheeled out of the way of the attack. "It'll take more than that, no brows." "Yeah, but first you got to deal with me," Naruto said as he raised his hands. Shadow Clone Jutsu. 20 copies of Naruto appeared and attacked the water clone. The water clone caught the multiple attacks on his sword and pushed them back, causing explosions that blinded the water clone. Now Sakura, the pink-haired girl, moved in and began throwing her kunai at the clone. The clone laughed as he blocked the attacks that the girl was sending their way. "Here, Peter," Naruto said as he tossed a weapon toward his friend. Peter smirked as he took the weapon. "Got you, buddy. Demon Wind Shuriken." He launched the weapon at the real abuser. The swordsman caught the weapon and then dodged the one hiding in its shadow. "Still not good enough," the swordsman said. "Really?" Peter said with a grin as he then fired his webbing at the two weapons. "Then maybe we should try something else. Swinging star attack," he said, swinging the weapons around. The clone tried to intercept the attacks, but Sakura's weapons kept it too busy from trying to stop the unknown attack. "Falling star strike," Peter said as he swung the web line over his head one before bring the star down, aiming it so that it would take the swordsman and cut him in half. Zabuza stepped closer and dodged the star. "Nice try, boy, but you still missed," Zabuza crowed. "Did I?" Peter questioned. The shuriken puffed into Naruto, who came forward with his kunai in either hand. The surprised swordsman leapt away from the dagger attack that was aimed for his Achilles heel. The ninja came back down with the shadow shuriken leading. "I'll destroy," the man snarled, only for a white rope to grab him by the chest and jerk him forward. "Did you forget that this was a team effort?" Peter said as his fist caught the ninja in the chin and drove him back. Towards his clone he slammed into the clone and it disappeared in a splash. Sakura fired 2 more kunai. The swordsman blocked them, but as one fell to the ground he gasped as he saw that there was an explosive tag attached to it. He placed his sword in between himself and the tag, letting the weapon take the brunt of the attack. "You brats just don't get it, do you?" Zabuza questioned as he stood up. "Despite all of your hard work, I'm still standing. Even with an explosive tag, and all you managed was to singe my sword." He made a hand sign and suddenly the mist was back. "I'm done playing with you brats." "Then take me on if you're such a big and bad ninja," Peter returned. "Sakura, you got the old man. Naruto, you've got sensei." "Right," the two said as they checked on their charges while Peter faced off against the demon of the hidden mist. There was no visibility, add in the long sword the guy had, and this fight just got a lot harder. The only thing going on for him was his slightly faster than average movements, and his odd ability to sense attacks as they were coming. "So tell me, sword man, what's your real reasoning for carrying that giant pig sticker of yours anyways? Is it to help compensate, or is it that you believe in the Texas philosophy of bigger is better?" he questioned while waiting for the attack. "I'm going to slice you to bits for that one," Zabuza snarled out at him as he appeared out of seemingly nowhere and began swinging his sword with blows that seemed to miss by mere centimeters. Despite himself, he was impressed with this laughing figure that managed to almost casually evade his silent killing technique that had destroyed much more skilled and capable ninja before this boy. The boy chuckled a bit at that as he continued to dodge the blows as they came at him from seemingly everywhere, yet he was able to move out of the way at just the last moment. "Oh come on, just for that? I thought that was already your plan when you started swinging that oversized meat cleaver at us," he mocked, as he actually landed on the flat of the blade and fired web sludge, as Kakashi had dubbed it, at the swordsman's face, trying to blind him. Zabuza was too quick though, and with a twist of his blade knocked him away and ruined his shot. Peter flipped off and fired more sludge over the blade in an attempt to make it less dangerous. The missing ninja used an elemental jutsu that froze the webbing and then slammed the blade to the ground, causing frozen ice shards to fall off of the blade. "Ha, so much for that idea," Peter said as he flipped over the man and performed a mule kick with all of his might. Zabuza brought the sword around and blocked the kick, though he did slide back from the sheer force of the blow. "Between that odd web stuff and your strength, boy, you're almost worthy of the title of ninja. Until you can prove yourself as a ninja, though, you are a tool that any ninja would be proud to have in their arsenal." Zabuza complimented the genin before him. "Kakashi must be very glad you have you as a weapon." "Yeah, now that's a weird backhanded compliment if I've ever heard one. But none of it would have been possible without the team effort." Peter returned to the swordsman, as he blocked the sword with his braces, and the two were locked in a contest of strength. Peter took a moment to look around him and noticed that the ground was littered with tree branches. If he wasn't careful, he could very well end up sliced and diced like the branches around them. "That's right, Peter, and I believe it's my turn to contribute to this fight," Kakashi said as he finally rose to his feet. Having finally recovered his strength enough to continue the fight with Zabuza. "You heard the man," Peter said, shoving the swordsman away with an extra burst of strength that sent the swordsman sailing away. He then shot a web line up into the trees and launched himself away from the swordsman before he could attack again. The two experienced ninja were now facing each other. The same tricks won't work a second time, Kakashi warned the ninja. "I was careless," Zabuza returned in annoyance. "No, you were outplayed by a bunch of children," Kakashi returned to him. "Whatever, let's do this," Zabuza growled as he flipped himself back onto the water while Kakashi remained where he was on the shore. The two jonin then began going through a series of hand signs. "Water-style water dragon jutsu," Zabuza said. "Earth-style earth dragon jutsu," Kakashi returned, and the two elemental creations rose out of the ground and lake and charged at each other. "Man, talk about fighting dirty," Peter joked as he landed in front of Tazuna and created a web dome that they could hide under. While the elemental dragons were facing off, the two ninja were fighting below their creations with their blades. Kakashi with his kunai, while Zabuza used his sword. They battled for several more minutes, with Kakashi scaring the swordsman as he copied technique after technique. Kakashi finally finished it by slamming him with the Great Vortex Jutsu, and pinned him to a tree with several kunai. "This battle is over," the ninja said as he looked down at the bloodied, stared in awe and fear at Kakashi. Before he could do anything else, though, several Seibon needles came flying out of nowhere and struck the ninja in the neck, knocking him down. A quick check proved that he was dead. "Impressive," Kakashi noted as a masked figure in a turquoise kimono appeared. "Thank you," the figure said, bowing as the other ninja came out of the shelters that they had been hiding in during the battle. "I must take his body now," the figure said. "Who are you?" Peter said as he eyed the figure curiously. His spider sense flared as the ninja turned to look at him. "You want to not try that attack you're thinking of?" he added, causing the ninja to take a step back in surprise. "Easy, Peter, it's only a hunter ninja," Kakashi told his student. "He only let us do the hard work, nothing unusual about that really. I've done it myself a time or two. Can't be too careful," Peter returned as he watched the ninja carefully. "Hunter ninja?" Naruto questioned while preparing himself for another fight. "Naruto, you idiot, hunter ninja work for ninja villages and return or kill rogue ninja," Sigurari tuned to the blonde. "If the two of you had been in class that day you would know these things." The girl harumphed at the pair. "So sorry, we were a bit busy in the hospital that day being treated." Peter shot back in annoyance at the girl. He didn't care if Naruto did like the girl, he was not going to let anyone treat his friend and partner like that. Naruto had been impaled the night before, and if it hadn't been for his healing power and Peter webbing the wound closed until it healed enough, his friend might have bled out that night. "Oh," Sigura said, looking somewhat embarrassed at having insulted her teammates when they had been sick. "You are correct in my duties though," the masked figure said with a bow. "Thank you again for doing most of the hard work," the hunter ninja said as he began checking the body over for any loose items. It will make processing the body less tiring for myself. He then grabbed the fallen swordsman and disappeared in a swirl of leaves. I don't trust that guy, Peter said to the others, getting an agreeing nod from Naruto. Oh please, the two of you are just jealous that he managed to do what the two of you couldn't. Sakura returned to them with a sniff. I wonder if Sasuke-kun would have been able to do it? She pondered out loud. Being as strong and cool as he is, I'm sure that he would have at the very least been able to make a shot like that. She gushed to the others. Naruto bowed his head in frustration over the Uchiha clan heir still being held over his head like this even when they were on separate teams. Peter on the other hand merely shook his head in disbelief at some of the things that came out of his teammate's mouth. Kakashi ignored the conversation and managed to make sure everyone was all right and lowered his headband back to its original spot. Come, we still have to get the bridge builder to his bridge, he told the group. You all did extremely well during your fight against Zabuza. You all showed a great skill in teamwork, planning, and ninja skills against a much more powerful and skilled opponent. Zabuza is classed as an A-rank ninja in the bingo book for a reason. The fact that you managed to keep the client safe, and get me free from his water prison jutsu is no small feat to have accomplished. I will request a bonus and a commendation for each of you once we return to Konoha. The genin all smiled at hearing that. While I am not glad that you disobeyed a direct order, I am proud of your not being willing to leave a teammate and what I hope is a potential friend behind. He continued to praise the genin. Remember, those that don't follow the rules are trash, but those that abandon their friends are worse than trash, he said as he proudly looked his students over. He truly did have a team that had Obito's heart. That was something that he was very happy to have. Yeah, you're like the goofy uncle that is always trying to teach us things. We couldn't just let you die, Peter said with a grin. As he said that, the image of a middle-aged man came to mind. I prefer the saying of with great power comes great responsibility my own self though. He shook his head in confusion. Where did that come from? I don't know, but I do like it, Kakashi assured the genin. Whoever told you it was a very wise person. Now we need to get going. Yeah, you can even stay at my place because of all of the trouble that I've caused you, Tazuna offered with a weak chuckle. Yeah, well, considering all the trouble this mission has caused us, it's more than the least that you can do, old man, Sakura muttered in annoyance as she put her weapons away. Well, that takes care of that problem then, Kakashi said. The man turned and headed down the path. He only made it a couple of steps before he started swaying and fell down unconscious. Sensei! The genin cried out as they rushed to the side of their fall and quickly checked his vitals. He's alive, she told them. I think that he's suffering from physical, mental, and chakra exhaustion, she said, guessing slightly while she and Peter performed basic field medicine on their teacher. Yet another time a trained medic of some sort would have been useful to them on this mission, the girl thought to herself. First Naruto's hand, and now Kakashi-sensei falling over. Perhaps she should up some of her knowledge when she got back to the village if all of their missions ended up like this. We should probably make a stretcher, she said. Why bother? I can just carry him, Peter said as he moved to heft the man up on his shoulders. No, you can't, Tazuna said, moving to stop him. What if he's injured somewhere else, or what if there's another attack? You won't have the time to set him down or put him somewhere safe if that were to happen, the bridge builder informed the youngster. Until you know these things, it's best not to move him around too much. Oh yeah, didn't think about that, Peter sheepishly admitted to the others. So what do we do? Naruto questioned the bridge builder. We can't just leave him here. You kids make a stretcher is what you do, the old man informed them. While you're doing that, I'll try and make comfortable as I can. One of the few benefits of not having any money is that we know how to do without things like doctors, the old man said grumpily. Right, the trio said as they disappeared and came back with several long branches and leaves. Thanks to the battle, there were plenty of supplies for them to use. Using ninja wire and webbing, they quickly had a stretcher made. The group then began the trip to the small village and the bridge. Once there, they got him to the bridge builder's house, where his daughter quickly prepared a room for the ninja to rest in.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you guys want to watch more like it, please subscribe to my channel and become part of the video game fanfiction plot. And please leave a comment down below and hit that like button. If you guys have any suggestions on any stories you guys want me to read, don't hesitate. They're always welcome here in the video game fanfic plot. That also goes for video games. Until next time, goodbye!